Good evening, investors. My name is Kevin Vincent. I'm part of the MarketsMojo product team, and today I'll be taking you through some of our premium features that we have on our platform. So, in case you are wondering how you can extract the maximum value from our platform, this webinar is for you. All right. But before we get started, I'll just take you through the disclaimer. We emphasize that all investors should use the information on the webinar merely as a resource to enhance their own research and understanding. Nothing discussed in this webinar should be considered investment advice. We strongly advise all participants to check with certified experts before taking any investment decision. Investments in securities is subject to market risks. Past performance should not be construed as a guarantee for future returns. Investments in equity and equity-related securities involve a high degree of risk, and users should not invest unless they can afford to take the risk on their investments. All right. So first thing today we'll do is we'll get started with something that a lot of people do not do in the market, which is researching a company, right? So on the MarketsMojo platform, all you have to do to get started is basically go to the search bar. I think you'll get started from this page. You'll get started from the feeds page. That's what we call it, right? Where you get access to all the top highlights of your portfolio, what is happening with the 4 strategies, and what is happening with the market as well, right? So let's say I want to learn more about HDFC Bank, right? So I click on HDFC Bank, and I have, okay. Before we get started on the researching side of things, I like to give a small brief about MarketsMojo, right? So MarketsMojo just completed its 10 years, and to give you some background, basically we started the company with the idea of focusing purely on data, right? There is no subjectivity that we realize that is a big problem, because there are biases. We are humans tend to make errors, right? So, and we are emotional people, so we often tend to make a lot of irrational decisions because of our emotional biases. Some of the biases you will definitely know of and might have even fallen prey to would be FOMO, like fear of missing out. There is some company out there. The news channel guys have been talking about it, and and the price is also moving a bit. So you're, instead of researching about the company, learning if it is an appropriate fit for you, you might just jump in and buy the company, not knowing full well what is happening with the company, right? That's exactly what happened actually in the .com bubble, right? The second is when it comes to researching, the biases, some of the most popular biases are confirmation bias, right? And I'll explain what that is. Basically, you put a decent amount of time and effort in terms of researching. That's great. You did your research, and you invested a decent amount of money as well. Now, all of us don't like to be wrong, right? No one likes to be told that, Kevin, you're wrong. This is not right. Which is why people often tend to avoid information that goes against their view, right? And would always look for information that confirms their view, right? And hence the bias, the confirmation bias, right? So this is basically the one of the few biases that a lot of people fall prey to, right? So what at MarketsMojo, how we have, how the entire platform is structured is such that we are only focusing on data. There is nothing subjective that comes into play, and we cut through, and this methodology cuts through all the biases that are in place that a lot of people fall prey to. Okay, so HDFC Bank, let's just evaluate this company. So there are basically 4 dots that we use that you can see here right next to the company name. Now the 4 dots, I'll tell you what they represent. Now the first dot represents a quality dot. There we go. The quality dot is one of the important factors that we use to evaluate the company. So quality dot represents the long-term fundamental strength of the company. Now this factor is based upon 3 factors. One is management risk, growth of the company, and the capital structure of the company. In capital structure, we're trying to understand how much debt is in the company, what is the debt serviceability ratios looking like. All the numbers are here, by the way. The second is growth. We are looking at what is the long-term growth of the company looking like. So this is a bank, so hence we're looking at the interest income growth, and we're looking at the net profit growth, right? In management risk, as I mentioned, I'm not. You might wonder, Kevin, you was just saying that, where you just said that all of our research is based on numbers rather than, the qualitative side of things, which is true, and that's why I'm saying that management risk. We are not looking at the who is behind the company, rather we are looking at the what is the impact of the management in the company, right? So all the numbers are reflected right here, which is reflected in ROA. In non-financial companies, we are looking at ROE, ROCE, and whatnot. So this is the first dot, right? In this case, the quality is excellent and hence reflected by this green dot right here. The second dot is the valuation dot. The valuation is fair in this case and hence represented by this yellow dot. This represents the the price. What is the price of the company looking like? Is it a very expensive? Is it very attractive? Very attractive. Now, in this stage, to give you some context, our valuation is completely a blend of relative valuation, right? Why relative valuation? Is because what we realized while we were creating these factors was that there is a lot of estimation risk, right? That is associated with the discounting cash flow approach, right? You need to identify what the discount rates are. You need to essentially make a forecast what the discount rates are going to be. You need to also forecast what the growth rates are going to be, and a minor change here and there will lead to vast difference in what the final output, right? So we go with relative valuation, where we essentially looking at comparing the price multiples, the earnings multiples of the company against against the industry average, industry benchmark, right? Against its own history and against its own history. So and that's not just it. We are not just looking at a relative perspective. Like we are not just looking at if the number is above the benchmark, then it is a good company to purchase, and if it is below the benchmark, it is a bad company to purchase. I'm sorry, I might have confused here. If the number is above the benchmark, it doesn't mean that the company is overvalued, right? And if it is below the benchmark, it doesn't mean that the company is undervalued. Rather, what we also take into consideration, the company demands that level of premium, right? So if the company is a very good company and it is above the benchmark, right? It is possible that the company is a very good company and demands that level of premium, hence it is up here, right? Similarly, if the company is not doing that well and it is down here, doesn't mean it's an undervalued company. It could also mean that the market is discounting the company to that level just because the company is not doing very well for itself. So that's valuation. Third dot is the financial trend. Financial trend looks at the latest quarterly performance of the company and comparing it against its previous few quarterly performances. So I will explain what these bar charts are here. So the bar charts represent, so as you can see, there is a 29, there is the latest bar chart. Sorry, the bar here, right here has a number of 29. Previous is 23, 26, 25. So what is this? Now this is the CFT score of the company, of the quarterly result. Effectively, how it works is whenever the result is published, we analyze the results in a matter of minutes. Minutes may be also stretching it. You can say in a matter of seconds, right? We identify what are the key points that are working for the company, as indicated right here, and the points that are not working for the company. And we take a net of these values. So it's 33 points are working for the company and 4 points are not, and effectively giving you a score of 29, right? So this is the CFT score of the company, and if you understand what the what the trend from a performance perspective is looking like, right? And the fourth, and in this case it is very positive and hence indicated by this green dot right here. The fourth dot is the technicals dot, right? But the technicals is a very common, actually, a very common parameter factor that people look at when it actually when it comes to researching a company. Actually, it is to a certain extent, it is the only thing that a lot of people look at, when evaluating companies, which is like which is not really a right approach to do so. So getting back to this, what we are doing here is we are evaluating the price based on 7 parameters: MACD, RSI, Bollinger Bands, Moving Average, KSC, Dow Theory, and OBV. And we are not doing this, just a big disclaimer right here, we are not doing this on a daily basis, rather it is on a weekly and a monthly time frame, right? So we are not trying to give you intraday calls here. I'll just give this info upfront. This is primarily to understand what is the price trend looking like, right? So that is what that is. So all these 4 dots, now the quality, the valuation, the the financial trend, the technical trend, all of these 4 dots work together and give you a score of 81. So effectively they all work together and give a score out at the scale of 0 to 100. Anything above 70, right, which is right here, gives you a advice of either a buy or a strong buy. Just a moment. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so effectively we've done the same thing for all the listed companies. So now, into a certain way, you might have realized that this is basically how you evaluate a company and how you can research a company yourself, right? But our analysis does not end here. Does not end here. You can scroll down up below the 4 dots, right? You can go to the price section. And you can start seeing that you'll see a trend here. We have a lot of sections. On the left, you have a summary card. On the right side, you have cards that dwell deeper into the data, right? So in the returns, actually, we have a very interesting data point here. Quartiles. Quartiles. I'll explain it to you. It's written right here. You know, best thing would be that you explore this platform, this section yourself. Is very interesting data point. The next section, we have news, so you don't need to leave the platform to understand what is happening. All of it is right here. There are quarterly. Now, this is for all of my CA and CFA friends who like to dwell into the data. We have the quarterly, half yearly, 9 monthly, all the important results and numbers that is published by the company, all right here. Now, there's another point that I should have highlighted: shareholding. We always look at that. Now, at shareholding, in this case, HDFC Bank. The majority of the shareholdings is basically held by FIIs, and you can say collectively they are held by institutional investors, right? There is no promoter holding, so it's a proper pie chart indicating who owns what, right? If you scroll to the right, you'll see that has there been any change in the holdings, FII holdings over the last quarters? Have mutual funds increasing or decreasing? So in this case, it turns out that mutual funds have increased their shareholding by 1.66%, right? And the number of MFs that are holding the company has increased from 580 to 623, and the number keeps on going, right? So, and you can obviously, as I mentioned, keep scrolling to the right, and you'll see all the. You can go deeper into the data, right? So this is basically how you research a company. You can also, if you're on the go and you don't have internet where you might be going at, you'd like to print out a research report and like to, read one with while having a morning coffee. We have something called as a verdict report. You can just click here. I think I've just clicked the button. A download report will start. The time right now is 7:20. I click on this and the report is generated as of 7:20, right? And right now it is completely, generated on the fly, right? So the company is, so this is the front cover basically highlighting the top points, the top summary points. Okay, so now here we have the score of the company, why it's a strong buy, is this company for you, the return summary. Now the unique point about this report is that all of these reports are all dynamically generated. Meaning that now this is for HDFC Bank, for some other bank or some other company for that matter, the number of points that we will be referring to here on the bottom is completely going to be depending on the company itself. Right? So if you keep scrolling down, you'll see all the points that are working for the company, and it is, as mentioned in the previous on the website itself, you keep scrolling to the right, you dwell into you are going deeper and deeper into the data, right? But the report side, obviously, you keep scrolling to the bottom, you're going down the rabbit hole, right? Okay. So I think there's a good segue here. There we go. So one of the things that is working for this company is part of the Mojo Stocks, right? And it's basically, the 1% qualify. Okay, what is that? I will take you through what, I don't want people to be confused, and I'll just take you through what it means. So the company is a Mojo stock. If you click on this platform, on this button, you'll see what the Mojo Stocks is. Now this, the Mojo Stocks is one of the most popular strategy that we have in place, right? Actually, it's one of the oldest strategies that we have in place, and it is representing the top 1% of the companies that are listed in the market, right? So if you go to the full list, right, we are not shy. So as this strategy has been online for quite a while now. Actually, I would say it's been there since almost the very beginning. There have been a lot of companies that have entered the list, and some of them have done very well for themselves. As you can see, Mastech has given a return of 491%, and obviously has exited a long time ago, right? Entered back in 2020 and exited in 2022. And similarly, we have a lot of companies like this who have generated really strong performance. And as indicated by the number of stocks that have been here, it's obviously been here for more than 5 years at least. But again, we are not gods. We always don't get it right. But however, if we do get it wrong, we have a habit of cutting our losses quickly. Not out of pure speculation, it's purely data driven. If the company is not looking that good, we are bound to get out of the company, right? Okay, so the next strategy, I'll just a little bit more about it. It's about a little bit more about the company. If you click on the top 10, you'll see what are the companies that are currently in the Mojo Stocks, right? You can see all the returns that it's been generating since it's been added. What is the benchmark performance looking like, and market performance, and what is the industry performance looking like. You'll also see how long it has been added for, and if you want to add it to your watches and portfolio, you can just click the buttons here and do so, right? The next strategy, hidden turnaround. Hidden turnaround is basically what it says. Now we are very simple in that we keep our strategies very straightforward. So hidden turnaround effectively is our companies that are very likely to turn around. They still may be a bit risky. They are actually very risky, as they still may have to. They've yet to prove. They've not established their comeback yet, right? So a classic example, would be if these are essentially companies that have just given a good quarterly performance after a streak of negative quarterly performance, and yeah, and that is what hidden turnarounds are. Now, as you can see, you can do the same thing. We have a similar framework for Mojo Stocks. We have the same thing here for hidden turnaround as well. I think if you hit grid, you'll see all the companies that are currently in the list. Now you can reliable performers, the second strategy that we have in place. Now reliable performers, my apologies, my throat is a bit thank you. Yeah. So the third strategy, reliable performance. These are companies that are showing best-in-class growth, right? As simple as that. And another way of looking at it is this is a slightly conservative approach compared to the hidden turnarounds. These have already established themselves, and these are the companies that are doing that. They have essentially proven their worth at this point, right? So similarly, we have a similar concept. Hit grid, you can see all the companies in the current list. Right? The fourth strategy, momentum now stocks. Now these are all the companies that have some level of momentum going for itself. Now, irrespective to to what is happening in the market, right? So and again, we have a grid format. You can see what is the when the company was added, what is the entry price, returns, what is the market returns, and so on. Now these are the four strategies that I've just highlighted. Now. So, I'm going to show my face. Huh? So, I've highlighted, I've explained to you how you can basically research a company, right? You have learned how to research a company. I've also showed you 4 strategies that we have in place: the Mojo Stocks, hidden turnarounds, momentum now, and reliable performance. So once you have these 4 strategies in place, a lot of people often tend to be a bit happy with it, right? Okay, और आपने मुझको strategies बता दी, I'll just follow these 4 strategies. इनके जो भी stocks आएंगे मैं खरीद लूँगा. Which is also maybe, now this is my personal opinion honestly, is that your entire investment journey doesn't end at buying a company, right? It is a start. It basically starts by you researching a company, and then, you know, in case you don't have time for it, you can just look for these strategies that have done very well for themselves and have a decent theme behind it. So let's say you have an idea, you buy the you have companies coming into that idea, आपने खरीद लिया, and now a lot of people stop their journey right here. They do not finish the entire cycle. The cycle should continue. After you purchase, you have to look at how many stocks are still doing well for themselves. Are they still, because markets are always going to be dynamic, right? Some quarterly results are happening every quarter, right? Things could change very quickly. And it is all, and the price of the company always is basically what the market is expecting for this company in the future, right? It is basically discounting all the revenues it can bring from, companies are going concern. So it is essentially discounting all the revenues that the company can bring to the present day, and that's how you're coming up with the price, right? That's the discounting cash flow approach. That's generally what the markets also look at. So what we do is, basically, markets could change. So basically, buy a company, and now you have bought a company. Don't stop here. Start tracking the company as well. See if something's going wrong for the company, and if something has gone wrong for the company. From our research standpoint, let's say it is a sell-rated company now, it's time to get out and switch to a better company. And that's how the cycle continues and continues. So a lot of people, unfortunately, have this bias of not selling or selling their losers, right? And they hold on to their losers. That's the thing. They hold on to the losers for too long, and they sell their winners very quickly. So this approach, right? This approach of tracking and having it done a portfolio level, so you're removing the diversifiable risk, right? Which you can diversify. It's the risk that you're not getting rewarded for. Best way of saying that. You can do that via our model portfolio approach or the portfolio approach. So I'll just create a model portfolio. Just a moment. So you can create 5 portfolios, 5 model portfolios. So click on generate new. Let's say I have 5 lakhs to invest. I have 5 lakhs to invest. I'll choose my risk profile. I'm a very conservative guy. Often I'm a very aggressive guy. But regarding this risk profile as well, I'll slightly explain a bit about this. Risk profile is basically, a lot of people don't do this for themselves. They should, right? They should evaluate the objective of their entire investment, and they should see how long they have for their investment to mature. For example, if my objective is retirement, behind this 5 lakhs that I'm putting, if my objective is retirement, and I'm a 28-year-old guy, I have a lot of years ahead of me. So in which case my risk profile is, I'm very aggressive, right? I can afford to take a lot of risk, right? Because at the end of the day, risk is what what is the worst case scenario? You can lose it all. But I have so many years that I can bring it back up again, right? So I'm a very aggressive person, and let's just go with that. I have an aggressive person, and in case another way of looking at it is if you can't stomach volatility, right? Now when the elections during the election day, I think right after the polls were announced, the markets were so volatile. And in case you could not stomach the volatility, you're like, मेरे को देखना ही नहीं है market में क्या चल रहा है, then that tells you that you are a very conservative person, right? However, if you didn't mind the volatility at all, very likely a aggressive guy. But that's a simple test. Obviously, you can go a bit deeper in it. There are obviously a lot of questionnaires that are publicly available. You can obviously go and fill a survey and figure out where you stand. Anyways, coming back to the entire model portfolio approach. Model portfolio approach. You input the amount, you choose the risk profile, click on the disclaimer, generate my model portfolio. So now at this point, it is evaluating all the companies that are all the good companies that are available for you to invest in. It is now in this case, it's looking for It is taking that 5 lakh amount, identify what are the highest companies to invest in, 10 stocks, 7 sectors. Highest sector is finance and NBFC. All of them have excellent quality, have better of positive financial trend, and or have mildly bullish or better technical trend. Now this is the list, right? You have 1, 2, 3. You have 10 stocks. You have the quantity, which is something that often people miss, right? And you have the right allocation as well. So you have removed the diversifiable risk, which you have diversified away with a portfolio approach. You click on continue, right? You click on continue, you'll get a deal sheet, which you can, I already have some, you get a deal sheet. You can execute. We are not a broker, so you cannot execute this. You'll have to actually go and execute it with your broker. You can call him up. You can go to your discount brokers if you're dealing with them, and input all these buy orders, right? Okay, so I click on OK. Now the journey doesn't end here. We'll be tracking this entire portfolio, and we'll be checking if there are any changes when it comes to, if the company score falls below a certain level. We have multiple thresholds. If the company is no longer fit for the model portfolio, it will be indicated to you via notification on email, on the platform itself, and you'll be asked to remove that portfolio, or remove that company from your model portfolio. In this case, it will automatically happen. You'll be notified about it. You can, by the way, it doesn't end here. You can actually reduce and add your investments depending on where you are. And you will always have some cash remaining as well. You can add more cash, you can add investment, you can reduce investment. That's how it goes. Primarily, long story short, what I'm telling you is now instead of an idea approach, we have given you an entire portfolio approach where you're looking at the entire portfolio. You got an entire portfolio. It might seem like it ends here, but it's not. We are tracking this entire portfolio now, and if anything goes wrong with this entire portfolio, if anything goes wrong with the portfolio, basically you'll be notified about it, and it'll be taken out of the portfolio, and that churning will keep on happening. Not for our trading purposes. Rather, if something goes wrong, you'll be notified. Chalo, ye बेचने का time आ गया, बेच दो, get into a better stock. Anyways, that is it. We have covered how to research a company. We have covered how our 4 strategies that we have in place, and we have covered the model portfolio and personally my favorite way of investing, as it covers the entire journey, not just the starting part, which a lot of people unfortunately focus on. If we have any questions, we'll take the questions now. We'll start the Q&A session. Can we invest in the stock of the month now? I think it's Mr. July. Very funny name. I'm sorry, it's an interesting name. So the stock of the month, you can basically invest today. I think you definitely can, especially because it was launched yesterday. And these are not intraday calls, or not short-term calls either. So I think you have not. I don't think you have missed any action. And even if you have, it's going to be. It is going to be. It is not going to matter a lot. These are calls that are given from a long-term perspective. We're keeping that in mind. It's not a short-term play. Next question. Oh, it is Julie. Okay, I'm so sorry. Mr. Shyam, I have been a long-term Mojo member. Please give a special discount. So, sir, we have been giving discounts for a while now, and depending on you, I think if you can just share me your email ID, sir, we can see if we can work things out. I think if there is a discount available for you, you should see it on the platform itself, and I think you would have received an email. We often tend to do a lot of we tend to do a lot of these discount mailers out to clients depending on who they are, and if if they can extract value based on their portfolio, based on we often take calls of giving discounts based on events, right? As an auspicious event, I think Ganesh Chaturthi is happening, we might have a deal running. I'm not 100% on that. However, in case there is, you can just shoot me a mail at kevin@marketsmojo.com. I'll spell that out. It's KEVIN@marketsmojo.com. You can send me an email, And if there is any discount available, I will definitely forward that to you. Next question. Ankit. Hello, Ankit sir. Sir, please advise best price to enter. Enter what? Should have been the follow-up question. But honestly, sir, the right way, I would say the best way of doing this entering would be if the company is rated buy on our platform, you can enter it. If the company is sell rated, just sell it. There is no, we really don't. Apart from the the stock of the week, we really don't give any entry prices. So we just go with the approach that I just mentioned. Hello, Mr. Sandeep. Good evening. Hi, Mojo team. Not able to maximize webinar screen from MarketsMojo mobile app, so it is very difficult to watch slides shown during webinar. Same functionality working fine if I watch old recordings in MarketsMojo YouTube channel. Thank you for your feedback, Sandeep sir. Amir, I think we should definitely note this down here. If it's a big problem, I mean, if our clients are webinar users who members of essentially putting their time here are not able to view slides, I think the message is being missed, right? So let's note this down and let's inform our team to just look at this. Thank you for the feedback, sir. Thank you. Mr. Avdesh, hello. Can you please tell me about the screener option? Okay. Amir, can you share the screen? Thank you. So screener option, very interesting question. If you go to the stocks, you can find it right here. It is if you click on the screener button. Screener is effectively what it means. Screener is basically you're screening the entire market based on certain filters that you have. So a lot of people, I think this might be a question that we might have later on. So I'll just address this right now, right? If you want, the companies with the 4 dots that are completely green, okay, go to the Mojo Logic screener. We have received this feedback so many times that we have kept it as a default option. The quality are excellent and good. Valuation is very attractive. Financials are outstanding, very positive, and so these are the 3 dots. You can reduce. And there are 37 companies that qualify for this list. Hit technicals, click on bullish, mildly bullish. That list comes down to 24, right? I can further reduce this list down based on market cap, industry. Now, this is a very simple version of the screener. You can click on Mojo Expert and expand this entire option. So, that it's a webinar by itself. Let's just go with micro and small caps. There we go. The whole list comes down drastically to just 3 companies from a 24 list of 24. And let's say I have an industry requirement. I only want to invest in plastic products. I search plastic, I click this, and there is only one company that falls within this filter. So, this is how the entire screener feature works. This is a very simplified version. If you like, if you like this option, or if you like the screen that you've selected, click on the save button and you can save the screener. I think you can just hit here, you can just name the screener name and you're set. So that's what the screener function is. I think, do we have any more questions, Amir? Okay, so we are out of questions. By the way, very happy about the level of questions that we have received this time. Normally we don't receive them many questions, but I do receive emails. I really appreciate that. If you guys have any queries or concerns, you have something's not working for you, there's some bug that you have spotted, my email ID is Kevin, KEVIN @marketsmojo.com. Please feel free to send me an email. I will connect you with the right people, and obviously I'll personally help myself if I can. That's it for today. I hope you are well equipped to extract value from this entire platform. Just a small disclaimer, almost all the features that I mentioned apart from the research is a paid feature. So in case you want to access it, you can by paying for the service, and there are deals that are ongoing. Sometimes we give really good deals, but for a very limited time, and so take advantage while you still can, and good luck in the markets. All the best.